everyone. So, today I wanted to talk to you about chapter 2 of my book Piglet and a sexual section entitled Dress. So, I go one by one, through the stages of life as I remember them, starting in my mom's tummy. So, my mother told me that when I was in her tummy, she saw a mouse and she got scared of it. And she grabbed her left butt. And therefore, I have my birthmark in the same place on my left side of the body, on my left butt. And, it's probably too soon to say because it's the material for my second book, but when I was a little girl, my cousin handed me the needle, and first she stuck the needle into the mouse, and then she gave it to me and she asked me to do the same. And I didn't plan to do that, but in the moment when I was, keeping the needle, my uncle entered the room and asked what we were doing there. So I believe that the gypsy construct their personalities, identities, also around some animals. So I believe I was supposed to be a grey mouse, and I was supposed to sit as quiet as a mouse, as Polish sayings go. And most of the time we are scared when we see a mouse, so I was probably supposed to be a mouse so that I would embody some fear, later on in my life. And actually that happened too. So in the book, you will have fun when reading the book, trust me. when you learn what fearful people do with umbrellas once they are scared. Okay, so a mouse and a bat. When you think of it, there is more linking with all that. Like the mouse likes cheese, I like cheese, and the mouse lives in the basement, typically. So in the interiors that are full of mold. So once we moved out from our first tenant house, then in our second flat there was a lot of mold, and there still is a lot of mold. So in a lot of ways, the environment my house would reflect the house of a little mouse, if you think of it. Okay. So, in astrology, it's very important when you were born because it matters. The birth time is connected with the studies of numerology. So what day and astrology, what planets would be playing out. I don't know much about astrology yet. I know that in Chinese astrology, my zodiac is one of the worst zodiacs, and indeed, it's a zodiac that has a lot of potential to, take shortcuts. Create false identities, and to it's a zodiac that has a lot of potential to do bad things, but once it reaches its maturity, which obviously not all of us do, but it's possible, to break the circle and cycle of wrong behaviors. And once you are on a good side of your zodiac, so to say, then you are honest and you're brave and you're a fearless person. So that's cool, I believe. So my birthday was moved. It was not postponed, but it happened faster than expected. So my mother gave a birth to me on the 15th of the month because she took a sip of vodka and she told me that she wanted to go to the wedding, and she wanted to be able to dance at the wedding, and therefore she wanted to take me out of the tummy faster. I was wondering, because two of my sisters, one of them was born on 17th day of the month, and one of them was born on the 18th day of the month. I was wondering, because the gypsy people like to apply the change. They want to exchange, if that's the rule that could be applied here. I was wondering, because when it comes to stories, someone close to me, to some degree, might have lived my life story, so to say, because there are a lot of similarities among our needs and aspirations. So therefore I thought, with the date of birth, it could be some type of an exchange, if that's possible. I would have to investigate a little bit further the dates of birth of my cousins and so on to be able to say anything. So when being a little girl, I had blue eyes and black curly hair, and I don't have black hair anymore, I don't have curly hair anymore, and I don't have blue eyes anymore. But I have to tell you, I told you about Elsa, that she's very similar to someone important, someone gypsy. If I had blue eyes, then I would be more similar to that line of people, just with blue eyes. So I have a scar on above the left eyebrow, and that keeps me, wondering, why is it on the left side of the body? Why is my birthmark on the left side of the body, and why is my scar? Because I was jumping. It's probably not visible. Oh, here. I was jumping in the trolley and dancing. I was told I was dancing, and then the trolley fell, and I fell because of it. So when I was a little girl, my aunt would kiss me between my legs. I wasn't even in a primary school then, and when she did that, she did it once, of course. It wasn't like an abuse or something like that, but when she did that, my father and my cousin were standing and looking. And I also, masturbated a lot. And why am I telling you this? Well, the reason why I'm telling you this, because I have learned from David Snyder, who is a very famous hypnotist, that you can manifest things internally by imagining things, or you can manifest things by acting out, thinking up gestures to those things that you want to achieve, right? So when you play, when you are a little girl and you play whatever you do, if it's masturbating, then you physically do something and you act something out. You act something out constantly. So with that, I just keep on wondering, how did it happen that I was masturbating through all my life, and then my first sexual intercourse was when I was 19, 20 years old. It was about my birthday time, so I'm saying 19 or 20. So it's not irrelevant how you engage, in what activities you engage when you are a little one, because I don't understand why was I masturbating, because I didn't know what I was doing, And of course, when I was masturbating, I was seen a lot of the times. Also in kindergarten, I found a red dress for a doll skipper, and I had a doll like that. I got it from my sister, and I don't know why, but I took that dress home and I told my mom. So she told me I would have to go to the kindergarten and tell the teacher. And I told the teacher. Of course, I had a sleepless night before going to the kindergarten the next day, but I took the courage. I told the teacher that I took the dress for the doll that wasn't mine, and she just stood there with the dress and she asked, "Whose dress is it?" Nobody said anything, and she told me, "So you can have it." And then in the sand pit, we usually would go to the playground, and I would play in the sand pit. And whenever I found something, then I was told that in the sand pit, then it's nobody's, so you can take it. And of course, with time, I just stopped asking if I could take a little figure from the sand pit. And if such thing repeated later on in my life, a sure thing, but I was lucky that it wasn't like all the time. It wasn't something that I would identify myself with, but yeah, it repeated. And when I was a little girl, I also stared at one point at my hand. So therefore, our neighbor Grażyna came. She told our mom that I'm having a cast, so my eyes are coming in one direction. And and we went with my mother to the hospital, and I had a procedure for my cast. I also remember that when I was a little girl, there was Zbigniew Nowak on TV, and Zbigniew Nowak was the man from Energy Work. So he would keep the bottle of water in front of himself, and everybody in front of TV had to do the same thing, and they would channel some energy, but I didn't feel anything. But with my parents, we went to some workshops by Zbigniew Nowak, but it was just a big hall filled with people, so it was more like a lecture. I don't remember much from it. Okay, so that's it when it comes to kindergarten memories. So thanks for watching, and yeah. And I'm sending free copies of Piglet, so please drop me a line if you want to have it, if you're curious what's inside my book. Take care and see you next time. Bye bye.